Hey everybody, Ingra Sparkman here from Southbridge Street Live, and I just wanted to let you guys know that we have banded together with CASA, Golden Crescent CASA of Victoria, for their annual backpack drive. Now I know it's summertime, so this is a crazy time to be thinking about school, but for organizations like CASA, they need to gather materials and supplies for children all year long. So this is it for the next couple of weeks on Southbridge Live. You're going to see that some of my guests will be bringing in backpacks themselves. If you also would like to donate a backpack or school supplies, you can come by our studio at 1102 North William Street, or you can call me at 361-649-1825, and I'll be happy to come by, pick up backpacks and supplies to help support our local Golden Crescent CASA. Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Southbridge Street Live. I am super excited to introduce my next guest. This is Mrs. Debbie Bennett Green, and she is the director of the Miss Victoria Pageant. She's been the director for 30 years, and this year is an amazing year for the pageant because the pageant will be celebrating its 50th year. So happy anniversary to the pageant, and then happy 30th anniversary to you.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for coming on. Now, I know right away one of the coolest things that I know that's happening in this pageant is that you've invited previous winners from the last 5 decades.
Yes.
As I understand, to come and be a part of this pageant.
That is correct. And our response has been very successful.
Oh, good.
So we're real excited. What we plan to do with the former Miss Victorias is have them on stage when we crown the 50th Miss Victoria.
Wow.
And we're going to pass that crown all the way through all the former Miss Victorias that are attending.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's going to be really cool.
So, you know, I want to just ask you right away, what would get you interested or even to take the time and effort, because I know it's like a volunteer thing for you, to want to take on something like a pageant?
Well, it took a lot of talking to. I didn't want to do it at first, but I now look back and think, oh, I would just die if I didn't have the Miss Victoria pageant to do every summer. It's kind of my community service.
Yeah.
It is training young ladies. I mean, what an opportunity.
Right.
And that I get to share certain life skills with them, and I get reports back from many of our former contestants saying, oh, Miss Debbie, during an interview, a job interview, I remembered everything you taught me in the Miss Victoria pageant, and just so heartwarming that they are using these skills that we teach them.
Yes, well, you know what, and I had put a quote from you that I wrote up for this morning's, just right up in the Facebook feed, where it says, one of the quotes that I love that you had said is, we're not raising beauty queens, we're raising future business women.
Yes.
And I thought that was amazing.
Yes, we are giving these girls life skills that they can use later in life, in college, in their career path, that they would use. Interview skills, how to sit properly, how to stand properly, how to conduct an interview. You know, when you go in there, look them in the eye when you're talking to them.
Okay, I have to interrupt you. She actually was like, you're not really sitting properly.
No, if you interview in the pageant world, you should never put your back against the back of the chair. It gives you the sense of slouching.
Okay, all right. So let me just tell you that in my defense, if I sit up, I might move out of focus, and so I'm trying to find something, Debbie.
Okay. Well, I joined you, and I'm slouching as well now, so we both can slouch together.
I love it. So I want to talk about what has changed in the last 30 years.
Well, when we first started the pageant, we used to have sportswear or casual wear, and then formal wear and interview. Now we've taken out the casual wear just because it's just another expense for the parents, and we really do not want to judge a contestant on their clothing. Even though formal wear is part of it, it is a small percentage.
Right.
We think what's more important is how they can conduct themselves in an interview. Their report cards are very important to us.
That was something that I wanted to emphasize, that you actually have a report card component, which I think is incredible.
That's right, because we want the Miss Victoria to be a role model for all young ladies and gentlemen too. So, you know, your school has to be a very big part of this. Right. We took the casual wear out because we felt like it was just voting judges
I got
judging on clothing,
Right.
and that's not what we wanted. So we, we added the public speaking to it during the formal wear, and these young ladies have to speak. And I am telling you, for even the little ones, 4 years old, you will be amazed at how well they can publicly speak.
Oh, I love that. I think that's phenomenal. And what you said, which I thought was so interesting, is that they carry that through the rest of their lives.
The rest of their life. Have eye contact with who you're talking to. Use the question in your answer. Speak clearly, slowly, so they can understand. All those things. These are life skills. These are life skills these young ladies will carry forward.
And the other thing too that I wanted to mention is that you also, I feel, give these girls, even maybe if they come in with lower levels of self-esteem or lower levels of confidence, for a young girl who's struggling, you would think, okay, well, a pageant would be so completely out of their reach, right? Or completely out of their comfort zone. But I was wondering if you felt like even those girls that this is a great tool for parents to provide for their kids an opportunity like this, because you especially, I know, really spend a lot of time with them to get them to this point, which can absolutely change lives.
That's right. As director, it's not my job to pick a Miss Victoria. It's my job to train every young lady that hits that stage so they feel comfortable and their self-esteem is high. For that child that feels, or that parent that feels like, oh, my child would never do that. No, this is what they need to be doing. You need to give them this advantage in life. Otherwise, they'll continue with that shyness and stuff. And that is a hard place to be when you're looking for a job. I mean, I've given pageant classes, private lessons, pageant classes for girls that have no intention of being in the pageant, but the parents have seen what the pageant has done for other girls, and they want that for their child too.
Right.
So we do give private lessons. They call them pageant classes. I call them self-confident classes. And it's amazing, just 1 hour we can spend with them to see a change in them. It just, they don't teach this in school.
Right.
They don't teach interviewing in school. They don't teach public speaking in
The
school.
importance of eye contact, the good manners, the putting your hand out first, and
Exactly.
creating that contact.
Exactly.
Wow, and that's probably a skill that we're losing more, I think, in further down the line, maybe, perhaps.
I'm afraid so. But this will set them apart from their competitors when they're going in the career world. Wow. I have a student that had to do an interview in college, and the interviewer told her, your interview skills are amazing. And she wrote me back and said, I have you to thank for that.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, I love that. I love that, because that's what I hope every child learns from us.
Right. So it is very much about business women and not beauty queens.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
So outside of changing the the sportswear, you do have a formal wear component. They have the interview component. But what are some of the behind the scenes things that these girls are doing in preparation for this 50th anniversary?
Well, one of the things I do like to tell all the contestants every year is there's so many things you have to practice. You practice makes perfect, and that's in everything in life. Once again, another life skill they learn. But one of the most important things I want you to practice: what happens if you don't go home with that crown? Practice. How am I going to react? It's going to happen to some of those girls on the stage, because we only send one crown home per age group.
Right.
So practice that. Keep that big smile on your face. I'm not saying you're not disappointed. I understand. If you don't go home with that crown, you're going to be disappointed. But how do I react in public when I have a disappointment? Once again, another life skill to learn.
Absolutely. To be able to just control the emotion.
Exactly.
Which
And
is
then when you go home,
important.
cry in that pillow. And if you really enjoyed it and you feel like this is something I really want, guess what? Another life skill. You come back and give it everything you've got.
Isn't that interesting? Because in some of the pageants, some of the contestants over the last few years, because I know you guys might be familiar with, I wrote an article with Mrs. Green in the Victoria Motion magazine, and I had an opportunity to talk to some of the former pageant winners. And it was just interesting to note that not every single one of them, as a matter of fact, I don't think any of the ones that I interviewed got on that stage for the very first time and won the crown at the very first go. And so what that told me is that, one, that they enjoyed the process. there's something about the process, and I think it is very much, I'd like to attribute a lot of that to you and the way that you're working with these girls and the way that your staff works with these girls. But it gave them a desire to want to go back and to keep trying and to go to even different pageants and things like that, but that they enjoyed it enough, even if they were disappointed not to get a crown, to come back again. And that really said a lot, I felt like.
Well, I tried telling them, please do not participate in this pageant to think I'm going home with a crown. Participate in this pageant thinking I'm going home with a lot of knowledge.
Right, absolutely.
So, and I do in my heart believe they do go home with a lot of knowledge. I do believe it makes them a better person. It prepares them for later in life situations. And I'm very proud of my girls, very proud of them. And all my former Miss Victorias, I've crowned 30 of them. So I'm very proud, and I'm excited about seeing them Saturday on the 29th of June. And I'm just, I do, it's such a rewarding thing when they do call me back and say, I used my Miss Victoria Pageant skills. Thank you.
I love that.
And that is what I'm trying to achieve here.
So tell me about once they win. What does that look like for a pageant winner? What does their year look like?
It is a year full of experiences and memories and volunteering, and it teaches once again our youth that we do need volunteers in our community. There are so many different organizations that need help, and we let them pick a platform. We used Be Kind this past year, so that covered.
I loved that platform.
Just covered so many areas. I mean, you could be kind by not bullying, so bullying could have been their topic. Just to go to a nursing home and play bingo with them, or just visit with the old folks. To go to the library and help read with the young children there. That just covered so many fields. And I think we're going to try to go forward with the Be Kind. We have t-shirts we had printed, and we would like to start a Be Kind day, and we want every day to be kind, but Wednesday, wear your Be Kind t-shirts. So we're going to try to go forward with that, because it really covers any platform, any court would want to.
Right. And I remembered kind of last year when that was it was I think one contestant's, that was their personal platform. But when they came into their court, which really becomes a family, as I understand, that these girls really bond, they become very close to each other. They decided that was their platform. And I love how just that, it reminds me of just like a drop in a river, or, how that spreads and how beautiful that was, that platform then became the entire court's platform.
Yes.
And that was something that I thought was really intriguing.
And they work on that all through the year and do different events. But it's not always, everybody thinks volunteering is fundraising. It's not. It's not always about fundraising. It's about awareness. It's just maybe helping out an hour to play with puppies and kitties at the pet, at the adoption centers. There's just so much that's out there that people can volunteer, and to see how these children are rewarded. They come back and they tell me about their experience, because we have a monthly meeting. So they come back and go, I ask them, how did this event go? And they will tell me. And that's another thing. Throughout this year, they're kind of motivated to organize their own events, and they have to get them all approved through the board, but they organize it. So that's teaching them again.
Right, exactly.
More lifetime skills. I just
and every
keep
time
going.
that they go out, I mean, they really are ambassadors to their court.
Yes, that is true. That is
true.
true.
I recognize there's also ambassadors also on the court, but I'm just saying that in general, that's that they're upholding a standard.
Yes, and they are representing the Miss Victoria Pageant, who I am very proud of, and I think our city should be very proud of. Great
50th year.
Group of young ladies for 50 years, truly role models in our community.
Is it anything like what you see on TV?
I don't think so. I don't think Miss Victoria is like that. Like I said, we go in a different direction. We're not wanting that perfect look. That's, I mean.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant on the reality shows.
On the no. I mean, it may go on, but I don't see it. That's not my end. I only see the positive side of it, the training and the outcome and the rewards, and so we hit a few bumps, but nothing that I would would discourage me from ever doing this.
Because don't you think like that kind of takes away from, or
Most
you know, in the
certainly
past
shines a bad light on pageants.
right?
Most certainly.
And it's nothing like that at all. That's what I put in the write-up too. It's nothing like that.
It is nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's TV is sometimes very
Yes.
sad because
Yeah.
it gives a bad image to pageants.
Well,
and
we were
that's
talking
not.
about this last night, that it's not really reality. It's like people don't really understand that there's lots of script, that there's lots of, that's how you hook viewers in. Is that you
Yes.
have to have the drama. So
Oh.
so much of that is not real.
That is right.
Even though it's dubbed reality TV.
Yeah.
It's not the reality.
It's not reality. It's not in the Miss Victoria pageant.
So now this year, the girls, instead of a normal interview, I guess the part of this component was that that the contestants actually had an opportunity to interview former winners.
Yes, during their formal wear,
Right.
they in the past they have been given a statement or a subject that they have to speak about. So they introduce themselves, they say a little something about themselves, and then they have to speak upon the subject that they
Right.
have received. Well, being the 50th anniversary and knowing that I wanted to invite the former Miss Victorias here,
Right.
I thought, what a neat opportunity for
Right.
them to include them. So this year, each one was assigned, randomly assigned a former Miss Victoria. They had to call them or email them or however, because
Right.
some don't live in Victoria anymore. So they had to interview them and then put together a little speech about their former Miss Victoria. So we're going to hear all about those former Miss Victorias on Saturday.
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
29th.
Okay, so it's Saturday the 29th.
Yes.
It starts at
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, and it's at the VISD
Fine Arts
Fine
Center.
Arts Center. Excellent. That's going to be fit. But you're not over. You're not off the hook yet.
Okay.
I still have more questions for you. Did you participate in pageants when you were growing up?
I participated in a small pageant, I think my junior high year, but dance was more my
Right.
cup of tea. And when I took over the Miss Victoria pageant, I said, the first year when I wasn't really sure if this was what I wanted to do, I did it as a favor to a friend. Thank you, Dee Dee Welder and Donna Schaefer, and I did it as a favor. And we after the first year, I said, this is no more than a dance recital.
Right.
Instead of dancing, though, we're walking and talking.
Right.
And I still was able to teach young ladies, and I do love doing that, and to better themselves, and to be perfected, to be polished. And I fell in love with it. I can't
Yeah.
imagine my summers without the Miss Victoria pageant.
I love that. Now, can we talk a little bit about all these different hats that you wear?
I wear a few hats.
You wear a few hats for sure. So you have the Debbie Bennett Green School of Dance.
That is correct.
And
Home of the South Texas Strutters.
Home of the South Texas Strutters. So tell me what your days look like.
Well, I have to say that just currently,
Right.
my daughter and my niece have come in as partners.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
My day is really kind of easy because they
Sure.
took over all the hard stuff.
Good.
And I'm there for advice. They teach the classes, they schedule everything, and I get to go visit every class while they're going on.
Oh,
and
that's
if I
wonderful.
feel there's a problem in the classroom, I'll talk to the teacher afterwards. We're located now in 4 different cities: Victoria, Calhoun, El Campo, and Cuero.
Wow.
And we're still growing, and I get to go visit the out-of-town studios. So basically, I'm just a roamer.
Right. Oh, you're Roman.
And I
love
it. I love it because I get to visit with every child, and
I love that.
and then at recital, of course, on side stage, and I get to visit every. But my day is. Somebody asked, "Are you ever going to retire?" No, never. When they put me in the coffin, that's the day I'll retire. I hope every day I get up and I play. That's what I do.
Yes.
I don't work. So I never want to stop that, ever,
Right.
ever. I love my job. I love my job.
I also love too that you've got your daughter and your niece there.
Yes.
Is that something that you had, prepared for, years ago, that this would be something that you would pass down through the family?
I did think my daughter would. She's a wonderful choreographer, Bennett Green.
Right.
And she went to UT. She danced on the UT Pom Squad, and her first year after graduation, she said, "Mom, I'm going to stay in Austin." And you know, of course I was disappointed, but
Right.
it's her life, and that's what she
Sure.
wanted to do. Well, within the year, she'd be calling me, hey, what are you doing now? I go, I'm going to class. She goes, yeah, I know. And, well, needless to say, she called her dad and said, I want to come back to Victoria. She goes, but I don't want to call Mom because she's going to say, I told you so.
Aw.
And so she called me, and I said, I told you so. But give them your 2 weeks notice and come back. And the exact same thing happened with Devin Wright, my niece. She was in Hawaii
Yes.
on a full ride scholarship because of her
Yes.
dance ability and her interview skills, because she's a former Miss Victoria.
Oh, there you go.
And she got a full ride scholarship to Hawaii Pacific, and she was on their dance team. She worked for the Chamber of Commerce in Honolulu. I mean,
Wow.
what a job.
Yes.
And she did the
That's
same thing,
coolest.
called me, what are you doing? I said, going to class. I know that's what you're doing. I want to come back. I said, give them your 2 weeks notice. Come on. So
Oh,
back
I
she
love
came,
that.
and they have just made this business boom.
Wow.
Just boom. They have the love of dance, the love of children, and I'm so proud of them. And it is so rewarding for me to stand back. I trained them,
Right.
and now they're so successful.
That's so awesome.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Well, now that the studio has grown, what do you see in the next 10 years?
Oh,
Will you tackle more
oh
towns?
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
these two young ladies are ready to add more
Wow.
to our plate. And you know, our staff is growing. You know, I used to be a solo teacher, only me,
Wow.
and now we have over 30 employees.
Oh my gosh.
And most of them, I would say 95% of them are former students because they know what
Aw,
we
that's
want.
so cool.
They know how we
Yeah.
run class. We have training for them. I think there's about 15 of us going to New York in July to a training seminar, and our staff continues to train every year. So I just see this business growing more and more and more, and just hitting some more towns and
Right.
opening at different locations.
That's so wonderful.
It is a fun job.
Is there anything that you want to add about the pageant other than coming out and where we can get tickets? We can get tickets still now, right? Until Saturday?
You can get tickets at Dance Showcase,
Okay.
2505 North Bend, Jordan.
Yes.
They're $10 each. You can get them up to the Friday of the
Okay.
of the pageant, which is June 29th.
Right.
I invite everybody to come and be part of the pageant, cheer on their friends. And, you know, we've all been judges, so go ahead and be a judge out in the audience and see if you're on, you know, the right track with the judges that are judging. And all our judges are from out of town, so.
There you go.
But-
See, that was the other thing too that I wanted to make sure that we got to. You don't judge the pageants. It's not what you do.
Not my job.
And these judges don't come. They're not from Victoria.
Not
so
from
they're,
Victoria.
They're completely and totally.
I tell the girls every
biased.
year, it's not that I don't care who wins, because I'm so happy for the young lady that does go home with the crown, but I really don't care who wins. I care that every one of them are prepared and ready for the
love that.
pageant.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So it's the Miss Victoria Pageant. It is June the 29th. It starts at 6 p.m.
That's
at the Victoria VISD Fine Art Center. Debbie, that was lovely. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
For coming. Thank you,
Thank
by
you
the
for
way,
having me.
for being a part of the Casa Backpack Drive. We do very much appreciate that. And we very much appreciate you watching Southbridge Street Live.